Welcome to War Thunder with Subdude. How y'all doing? Well, 1.81 dev server has dropped for what it's worth. There is Skatui, other than the choppers, a few tanks, and a couple of boats, and new places to call battlefields. As far as the army goes, yeah, you get the M1 IP, the improved tank, which basically means it's got up armored. And the M247, the Sergeant York. Now, if you don't know who Sergeant York is, he was a sharpshooter in the United States Army during World War I who was credited with killing unknown number of Germans and capturing a battalion by himself, which is kind of a tall tale, but it's still a tale. And he earned the Congressional Medal of Honor for it. So they decided to award him with a self-propelled anti-aircraft gun, which really never made it into production very well. But it's got two 40mm cannons, it's got plenty of ammo, and it's got proximity fuses. So that'll be interesting and dangerous against aircraft. And then we have this. This is just the first helicopter that gets me into looking at all of them, because I wanted to see if Gaijin was going to be silly enough not to create a helicopter only mode. And guess what? They did not create a helicopter only mode. And they need to create a helicopter only mode. Air Realistic, Air Arcade, Tank Arcade, and Tank Realistic and simulator battles are all not the place to be flying a helicopter, at least not yet. Air Arcade, Air Realistic, probably never going to be a good place to fly helicopters. Tank Arcade, Tank Realistic, and simulator battles, yeah, you're going to find it. Helicopters will be good there. But a training mode should be necessary. When I say a training mode, I mean use the Air Realistic battle maps and put the helicopters on there. Now you can have helicopters versus helicopters. That would work fine. Just keep the airplanes out of it. Create a new mode. Come on, Gaijin. Think for about 5 seconds longer than your memory. But that hasn't been done, so that means that whoever's going to be flying helicopters is, well, they better be doing a lot of time in practice, because they are not easy to maneuver. They can be a downright pain in the butt. So, but this is a very nice helicopter. All the models look very nice. That's wonderful. Grand, glorious. You know the drill. We have nothing new for Germany, which is kind of upsetting, except when you get into tanks. They've got the new TAM, which is Argentinian. Oh, and they've got the Leopard A1A1 with the L44 cannon as a premium. Oh, and they've got the M48A2 GA2. Yeah, that's getting a little bit long in the naming tooth. So, there you have it. This one's got the 105 millimeter L7A3 cannon, which isn't a bad gun. The Soviets T-80B. Yay! They get a big bad day. A brand new baddie. And the T-55 AM-1 with the 100 millimeter gun. And if any of you have ever read the book Team Yankee or listened to the audiobook, you would realize that T-55s are lunch for M1s. But I digress. You also get the BMP-2. We'll take a look at that one real quick. The BMP-2. Woohoo! 30 millimeter autocannon. It's got ATGMs, all 4 of them. And supposedly it could carry troops, but we aren't going to get to do that. Britain. Britain gets a new shiny. The Warrior. We'll take a look at that real quick. Preview. The Warrior with a 30 millimeter L21A1 automatic cannon with 222 rounds. 6 Milan ATGMs. Excuse me, 8 Milan ATGMs. And a machine gun. Just try not to get hit anywhere by anything. And that is it for Britain. They didn't even get anything in aviation, so they're kind of screwed there. But they've got a motor torpedo boat. Yay. Japan really got nothing. Italy, still don't have a tech tree for Italy. That probably won't come out until Christmas. November maybe. But nothing in the air tree. France didn't get anything. I never expected them to get anything. And their army got bupkis. So, that pretty much sums up the entire thing. Gaijin just really, I realized they're bringing out a whole new section with helicopters and all that good stuff that goes along with it. And they threw in a couple of new maps. Let's see. Let's go down here. Oh, let's pick something nice and slow to fly around. Yeah, right there. Bum bum bum. Let's see. Custom battles. And create session. And Alright, we're gonna fly over the American desert so that we can see what this map looks like from the air. Alright. Looks like we have a lake over here. And another lake over here. And there appears to be a lot of seriously flat land. Now, I don't know how big this map is going to be for the tankers, because it really doesn't look like it's going to be that big if you look at all the targets. But there's some pretty high ground there. I don't know how anyone's going to get up on top of it yet. And I doubt they're going to be able to use all of this. There's the train line. Let's follow that, see where it goes. Ah, there's the locomotive. Uh-huh. The bloody beggars are shooting at me. How dare they? Well, it looks like that runs off over into the distance, just goes out of range. Let's see what the where the tracks go the other way. I think they probably just head straight off into Never Never Land. Nice having a nice slow airplane to be able to fly around and just keep your eye on what's going on. And no one picks on me. That's a good thing. Don't like people picking on me. Hey, no shooting. Looks like there's a town over there. Looks like the airfield's off in this direction. But again, you've got these buttes, and I don't see any way to get to the top of them short of climbing, and we don't have troops. 10th Mountain Division would be a real good group to have. But boy, if you could get up into here, you could control everything, especially with a long-range gun. Oh, there might, no, I don't think so. No. Does not appear to be any way to get up onto the top of this plateau. And I doubt that the ground map is going to extend all the way out here. This would be another one that would be a good one to get up on top of with one of those flat shooting 120 millimeter guns. Or that, what is it, the Object 120? The Russian one that's got the 156 millimeter super whammadine. I can hit you from, I can hit you on the moon from Earth gun. But looks like we have a highway here. Big old super slab. And it runs off towards the airfield. Takes another turn off into the distance. Alrighty then. Looks like there's another town over there. Better it's some... not sure. Maybe I should have picked a faster plane, but old deal. And again, this runway is a lot too close to the airfield, to the battleground. So, once again, Gaijin has been delinquent in doing their job as far as map creation and as far as missions, maps, and objectives. Now, those buttes, they ought to be brought into the map as far as being able to use them, and those buttes would be the ideal sharpshooting spot.
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
Not going to take out the FJ4B. Just isn't worth it. But let's take a little bit faster mover and take a good look at where that enemy airfield is. There we go. Don't want to get too much closer because they'll start shooting at me. Those are trees. Yuck.
We suffered a defeat. Head back to base.
Alright, we're checking out a map called Lagoda. I'm not sure, but I think this might be... No, I don't think it's what I think it is. But this looks different. Haven't seen it before. Let's take off and see what we can see. We're going to take a bit faster aircraft this time. And let's give it a little bit of ordnance. That'll do. Alright, I can tell immediately that this is not Vietnam. Definitely not. It's a bit too white. And I mean that in a frigid way. So, we're going to dump out of this real quick and go find something else to look at. But, wow. This is like, seriously, wide open. I wouldn't mind having seeing tank battles fought on this thing. This has the right size for real tank battles to take place. But what do I know? Gaijin doesn't like things that are big and useful like this. Yeah, okay. Well, it does not appear that Gaijin has does not appear that Gaijin has put the Vietnam map up in the game yet. I tried to get on it. It just doesn't exist. But you did get to see a fly around of the American desert town. And my one criticism of it is if they ever make it so that you can get to the top of that butte, whoever's got the big long range gun, they're going to annihilate the other team. Now, the other team might have long range missiles, but that's a long shot and that's a big mountain. And they can see darn near everything going all the way back to the spawn. So, that's going to be problematic if it ever becomes part of the game. But there you have it. You've seen all the good stuff, all the wonderful stuff, and all the, yeah, it's in the game. And still, no B-26 Marauder. You've already got the Martin Maryland. Why don't you have the Martin Marauder? Come on, Gaijin. I don't need Super Whammadine Ultra Special jets. I'd like to get some of the planes that you're still missing. I realize you probably got all your Soviet jets already and quite a few of all the other things, and you're saying, yeah, it's all done. We're going to move on to tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks and tanks and ships now and then and tanks and tanks and oh yeah, we've got helicopters now and tanks and tanks. So let's do something different, Gaijin. Let's make the players happy. At least some of us. By taking some time, putting in some of the missing aircraft, and even if you don't get around to the missing aircraft, maps, missions, objectives. You've had 5 years of goofing around. Now it's time to concentrate on gameplay. Gameplay. That's what keeps people coming back. That's what keeps people enticed. Not shinies. There comes a point when you look at all the new shinies and you go, why? Especially when you're starting to deal with 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s tanks. You're really ticking a lot of players off. You're making a lot of them so happy they have to go change their pants. But you're really ticking off a lot of players. And maps, missions, objectives. Those need serious work. Come on, Gaijin. You can do it. I know you can. You've done it before. You can do it again. And quit taking elements out of maps. Leave the elements in. And on some of the maps where you've removed elements, put them back so that we have something to do besides Slaughterfest. It all comes down to Slaughterfest anyhow, but give us something else to do besides Slaughterfest. This Subdude signing off. Y'all have a pleasant today, a better tomorrow, and 1.81 will be coming along shortly. Or as the trademark symbol, soon. Bye-bye, folks.